Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I'm going to share with you kind of like an effort to create procedural skeleton. So I'm really basing it on Mexican skull. And I'm gonna try something that's very basic, even something as basic as this kind of mask. So it's gonna be pretty basic. It's not gonna be more complex than Suzanne Head, but eventually this hopefully gonna be like some kind of base head of some sort. Procedural Suzanne Head is probably a little bit, maybe not too complicated, but I think this is maybe like the second stage. For now, I'm gonna try to create just a base skeleton, like super basic one. The step by step that I did was actually I start with a box, and we know that with a box we can subdivide it and smooth it. So if we subdivide it and smooth it, we're gonna get some kind of a starter shape. You can actually start a head from this kind of shape and kind of cut the eyes and actually extrude it down for the mouth. And I think this will make a pretty good skeleton head, just a super basic one. So that's exactly what I did here. And I'm using sphere chalk to model this head skeleton, actually the skull. So I found out there's one nodes, this guy right here, extrude separate faces, that actually can be a little bit unstable. This one is kind of unfortunate. I think we need another way to do this. If we just I'm using extrude separate faces actually for the eyes, but it's apparently not so great. I'll show you what I mean. So I have this setup, and if I made a little bit of changes, um, this guy right here tends to change the polygon index number. So that's why if I do the eyes at the back, probably it's gonna be a little bit more stable. But yeah, so what I did here actually after let me start again. So I start with the box, and then I'm using subdivide, so I get this some kind of rounded box, and I can still kind of adjust this, but you can see sometimes it's a little bit unstable. I shouldn't increase the number of cut, because it's gonna change the number of polygon face, and then changing the topology and the index number, so that's not gonna work. I can kind of use fractal and kind of make this a little bit more organic though. That's kind of nice advantage, so I'm probably gonna keep that. Some kind of imperfection makes the objects a little bit more organic. But anyhow, I have this way to kind of do a scaling as well of the box, so I can kind of make this skull slightly different shapes. And so what I did actually, there's all this kind of extra node step simply to do the masking of the polygon. Here the index to mask actually gonna output like a false and true, and whatever is true, that's actually kind of selecting the part of the polygon. And in this case, of course, extrude separate faces is for the eye. I'm just selecting this polygon face and this polygon face and then extrude it in. That's normally for the eye slot, but super simplistic. I probably need to extrude it twice in order to get a better eyes like Suzanne. And what I did here, I need to use remove double. This guy, extrude separate faces need remove double. Otherwise, if I don't use remove double, it's gonna be, there's like extra vertices that we don't want. Okay, the next step is actually pretty simple as well. I'm just extruding the jaw area for the mouth, for the skeleton. So you can see it's here, there, kind of extruding the mouth. now you can see how unstable this thing at the moment. And the scaling, this actually can kind of create the skeleton jaw bigger or smaller. It's kind of nice in a way if we can keep doing this. The control that we don't have is this guy. We can use biometrics or along the normal. I kind of want it between these two, kind of like extrude it along the normal and then kind of offset it slightly. I wish we have that kind of control, and we don't have it yet. That can be added hopefully by the Spreadshirt developer. And the next one I did, of course, just 2 more extrusion just around the mouth. That's why I get this kind of smiley face. That's kind of like a side effect. It wasn't intended to be a smile, but since we are using the normal, this is what we get. I don't know if for proper lips maybe we need to kind of extrude it a couple of times, and then to get the shape of the mouth. Suzanne is actually very good for topology. If you study Suzanne carefully for human head, if we actually smooth Suzanne many times and we get this kind of alien face, this is actually a good starter. You get like a bonus eyeballs, and you have this shape with all this with a proper topology around the eyes, around the nose, and the mouth. This guy can create skull head. For skull, we don't need ears. Like this guy doesn't have ears. But yeah, I think it's a good kind of a pretty good study. I guess this can be better over time. I'll try to come back to this one, but this is just a quick preview. I kind of like this ability to kind of deform and add imperfection to our skeleton, and I think this is kind of nice. And yeah, that's happening again. The base changes and the topology changes, and we lost the mouth again. There you go, it's back to normal. I'm probably just gonna take a snapshot of this just for our starting points for a skeleton head. Quick snapshot. There you go. That's our first attempt at creating a skull head using Spreadshirt add-on. It's all created using nodes, so you can always go back. Maybe for the skeleton head, in order to make this better, if we can add some kind of a subdivision here, splitting the head, and for the nose, actually we need probably extra lines around the mouth as well. I know currently, in order to kind of tweaking the vertices can be kind of tricky using nodes, but at the very least we can have some kind of base mesh, and we can kind of work from there. So yeah, hopefully one day we're gonna achieve procedural Suzanne Head or procedural alien like this guy. For now, it's just a super basic skeleton head. It's gonna improve over time, I promise. It's gonna be like this for now. Yeah, so let me know what you think in the comment section below if you have any feedback, suggestion, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.